Right, hello again. This is part 2 of ranking the Sarah Jane Adventures Season 1. And this is the tier list of what we got up to so far. Okay, Warriors of Kudlak Part 1. A new laser tag has opened uptown and this episode is based on a true story. Jimmy Savile. Wait, no. But the episode is about kidnapping children. Ralph Harris's wet dream. So, poor Lance has been abducted by this guy. Like, what the actual fact.
Bring me children.
Sorry, I didn't hear you there. Could you repeat yourself?
Bring me children.
Russell, what were you thinking? To be fair, Kudlak actually looks decent. Oh, I just called her nonce decent. Then meet Mr. Grantham, who is basically Mr. Kudlak's assistant, who basically just scouts the kids. We then go back to our main characters. Sarah decides to look into the case of the kids going missing, and she then goes to see Lance's friend. Every time one of the kids go missing, there's this 2-minute... okay, I've got to stop myself. There's a storm when a kid goes missing. Sarah creates this, really strange device just to prove that the kids are being teleported somewhere, and it rains, potatoes or something. I don't really know what that is. He's still really trying to make himself as a comedian, and he's failing. So Clyde wants to try and make Luke happy, so they go to the Combat 3000, the new laser tag.
Welcome to the unique gaming experience, Combat 3000. Zap those drones.
The enthusiasm is it's on point. So Luke and Clyde are playing laser tag, and Sarah and Maria are at the same place and decide to break into Grantham's office to see if he's basically got a basement full of kids or not.
Perhaps I can help. Who are you and what are you doing in my office?
Sarah Jane Smith, journalist.
We then see Sarah Jane's real talent, flirting, as she's held at gunpoint and gets out of it.
Bit of lippy. Last request.
Clyde and Luke are still showing their poggy gamers.
Attention, all sussy gamers.
They make it to the final and get abducted. Come on, that's the second episode in a row now.
Be proud of them.
Oh shit. Now, I enjoy this episode heavily because of all the non-jokes I can make, but it's actually not that good of an episode. I give the storyline a 5 out of 10, the humour a 6 out of 10, the character arcs a 7 out of 10, the enjoyment a 6 out of 10, and the villain a 7 out of 10. And to be honest, I think this episode's just meh. Back part 2. So after being caught in part 1, Sarah and Maria could be in some serious danger. Nope, she just pushes past Mr. Kudlak whilst he's holding her at gunpoint. Mr. Kudlak has the aim of a toddler. Luke and Clyde have been blasted up into space and locked in a cage. Mr. Smith has worked out what species Mr. Kudlak is, despite Sarah and Maria quite literally describing what could be anything.
Yes, I think that's it.
And Luke escapes the crate using the carefully placed Allen key that's just luckily left there. This is more convenience than the 14th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. I find this scene really strange. So Luke and Clyde unlock all the kids, but they just don't really seem to care. They're just fine where they are. And then Grantham just appears and is tasered by Maria.
No, Mr. Grantham, I think you're the one that's done with it.
Oh, why is she panting? This scene is so weird. What the fuck? The kids escape the cages only to be caught by Mr. Kudlak. We learn that the laser tag is to scout warriors to be on the front line. Luke somehow attaches his Nokia brick that was made in the 1990s and hacks the ship's database. Grantham sends Maria and Sarah up to the ship to confront Mr. Kudlak. So we then find out that essentially the war had ended years and years ago and the ship has a mind of its own and has been convincing Mr. Kudlak that the warriors are still needed to win the war. Sarah and Maria convince Mr. Kudlak that war is bad and these men need to stop being petty. Some good old Russell political commentary. Mr. Kudlak gets on his knees for Sarah. I mean, who wouldn't? And apologises for his actions. He wants to help find the ones that could still be alive. So they all return to Earth. But hang on, just hang on. We find out that Grantham has escaped. And you know when your mate's just been cheated on and he's like, oh, well, what goes around comes around. Sarah just says that about a kiddie fiddler.
You'll get what's coming to him, eventually.
No, Sarah! This man kidnapped children! This episode really frustrates me because it The storyline's a 4 out of 10, the humour's a 3 out of 10, the character arc's a 4 out of 10, the enjoyment a 5 out of 10, and the villain a 3 out of 10. It's a low ranking episode, the worst of the series, and it has to go on Chris Chibnall. Boy, that was a stinker. And, well, the series definitely needs a boost after this stinker of an episode. Oh, and does it get it? I'm just going to whet your appetites with this next time trailer from the end of the episode of Warriors of Kublak.
Sarah Jane there. Say again? Sarah Jane. This is her house.
There's no one on this road called Sarah Jane.
Out of my house. This isn't your house.
Okay, it's time for a banger. Whatever Happened to Sarah Jane Smith, Part 1. We start at a skate park. It's highlighting why the RTD Era 1 is so popular. The way the characters and their relationships are built is so well done. Look, even Alan's having a go on the skateboard. But on a serious note, I love Alan. What a dilf. However, things begin to go pear-shaped quite quickly.
Somebody just walked over my grave.
I think it's important for those of you that maybe haven't actually seen this show before. This is the Trickster. He's the big recurring villain of the Sarah Jane Adventures. It is explained there is a huge life-threatening meteor heading towards Earth that not even the government can see, but luckily Sarah Jane and Mr. Smith can save it. What could go wrong? Sarah gives Maria a Rubik's Cube which allegedly has the powers to protect her.
He said, remember. Just remember, whatever that means.
The Trickster's going for a nice evening stroll, and all of a sudden just decides he wants to retire Sarah Jane a little bit early. But, surprise, the cube has made Maria remember Sarah. However, this makes her look like she's going bad shit crazy, as no one else can remember.
Where'd you get those plans from?
Hey? Oh, from Andrea.
Who's Andrea?
Who's
Don't be
Andrew?
daft, just sign it.
I'm going over the road to see Luke.
Oh yeah? Luke's a lad from school, is he?
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
Some new bitch called Andrea Yates has moved in across the road and Sarah's just vanished.
You're right, love.
Did this episode mess anyone else up as a kid as well? Maria begins to look even more crazy. Alan's forgot, Clyde's forgot, and Luke has just vanished. But at least Andrew's getting fruity. I mean, she's eating fruit.
Come on, lots to do.
Whatever. Mr. Smith, I need you.
Maria looks like a dickhead. Even I'm starting to think she's going crazy. Maria wants to prove to Alan that Sarah Jane did exist.
Sarah Jane Smith, Guernsey women's football.
I can't believe Alan just heard that. Bit of mild sexism. Nice. Maria discovers that in this reality Sarah died in 1964. And guess who was with her when she died? Andrea.
And that's Sarah Jane's voice. It's her voice, can you hear her?
Wow, Maria, you're starting to sound like a sausage. Maria decides to go to Andrea's house to apologise, and by apologise, obviously, interrogate her.
This isn't your house. This is some kind of time gone wrong. I'm gonna sort things out. I'm gonna work out how nothing is gonna stop me.
Andrea begins to feel guilty and goes to the attic to confront the Trickster, where it's then revealed that Andrea swapped places with Sarah. What a bitch. And just to top it off, she asks the Trickster to get rid of Maria. You may ask how the Trickster does this. Well, the only logical way. He gets a grass to appear. And the Trickster's up to his old tricks again by getting everyone to forget Maria. Yay, Chrissy's back. But, hot damn, there's a twist to the tale as Alan finds Maria's box and realises that Maria was telling the truth the whole time as he remembers.
There is no Maria. Maria doesn't exist.
Maria escapes the Grask, but is teleported to the 60s where she meets the mini Sarah Jane.
Nice to meet you, Maria. I'm Sarah Jane Smith.
What a cliffhanger. Damn, what an episode. The storyline's a 9 out of 10, the humour is an 8 out of 10, the character arc an 8 out of 10, the enjoyment 10 out of 10, the villain 9 out of 10. That episode could not be much better. There's not a lot you could do to improve that episode. What a great episode, and for me, it just got straight in the best. Whatever Happened to Sarah Jane, Part 2. Okay, so, here we go. Maria wants to stop Sarah from going on the pier, but obviously that doesn't work, before the grass teleports Maria back again. Maria is sent to Limbo where she finds Sarah. We then see Alan, who is still losing his marbles and looking as crazy as Maria
She's about
did.
that high, and she's got dark hair like me, and she's beautiful.
Are you getting some kind of a kick out of this?
The trickster then summons Sarah Jane.
I'm being summoned.
He explains how he altered time so that the meteor can smash into Earth. However, Sarah raises a very good question.
What about the Slovene and the Gorgons and the patriarchs of the Tin Vagabond? What happened to them?
I love that the writer asked the question so that we didn't have to. The trickster explains how he turned away all of them because they wanted to profit through the power of invasion, but he just fancied being a menace.
And I will explore your potential further.
You want to explore a what? But the trickster's plan is actually deeper, as he wants to exploit Sarah to get to the Doctor to cause more chaos. Andrew is having a party, and for whatever reason Clyde's there and gets told to turn on the news.
Danny, are you serious?
The huge meteor, which was sighted at 2:15 this afternoon, is heading towards Earth at colossal speed.
Meteor. It's all true.
Alan then confronts Andrea.
I know about the accident. I know about this Sarah Jane.
So then Andrea takes Alan to the attic to explain what happened.
It was years ago. I was 13.
Andrea, you don't have to die. Let her die in your...
So, just when you think Andrea's starting to get a little bit better, she tries to get rid of Alan too. See, what she done as a child, I think, is understandable and justifiable. Like, as a kid, a lot of people would probably do the same thing. But then trying to get rid of Alan and Maria too, it's just not okay. The grass then appears and Alan does a runner.
That's just ridiculous. I'm telling you, my ex-husband and a dwarf in a suit, now I've seen it all.
Honestly, the humour in this show is just incredible. And then Alan obviously decks the grass with a skateboard.
I'm sorry, the missile strike has failed.
Oh no. Alan somehow knows how to bring Maria back. And the absolute genius that is Alan and his daughter Maria realise that to bring Sarah back they must go to the attic.
I'm sorry, Andrea, but you were meant to die.
Whoa Maria, that's cold. But then Andrea starts to go through her redemption arc.
And you're free!
And they're back. Did anyone else just kind of forget that Luke existed throughout this whole episode? And they're all back, but wait, the meteor! Mr. Smith is up and running and fires it backwards.
Aliens, monsters, supercomputers. Is anybody going to tell me what's going on? Come on, I need some answers.
Oh! They've done it again! What a cliffhanger! Seriously though, what a great episode. Another absolute banger. Give the storyline a 10 out of 10, the humour a 9 out of 10, the character arc a 9 out of 10, the enjoyment a 9 out of 10, and the villain a 9 out of 10. Another stunning episode. Perfect. Almost the same, as good as the last. Incredible. The Lost Boy, Part 1. Well, can they keep up the quality from the last episode? Yes, they can. This episode is dark and focuses on child abduction. Again. The episode basically just carries on from where we left off, with Maria explaining her saving the world lifestyle to Alan.
Sarah Jane's computer. And which branch of PC World did that come from?
I asked the same question. This scene is used to recap everything that we as viewers have seen throughout this series to help build up to the finale. Alan decides that Maria should not see Sarah Jane anymore. Maria goes to cry like a baby to Sarah, but actually, Sarah kind of agrees with Alan and sees where it's coming from.
I know your father has a lot more to worry about than most dads. You can't blame him for wanting to keep you safe.
Tell him about the magic. How wonderful it is, the universe.
Perhaps it is.
Did he just let himself in? There is some extreme debating on whether to allow Maria to carry on. Please, Dad, let me carry on!
I've got a lot to get used to, haven't I?
Oh, well, that didn't take long. We then cut to this news report of these parents that have lost their boy.
Isn't that Luke?
The way everyone reacts is actually really, really good. And the explanation given that the way that the Bane had removed his belly button and why actually does make sense.
In society, being egg-born find the navel crude and offensive.
Maria's mum's theory in her head has finally been proven that Susie Jane is a wrong 'un. So she calls the police, and the scenes where we have the police is so unsettling.
What have you done there? Let's just stop it, please.
Ask the question again. How is this a kid show? So Sarah Jane gets arrested by the police, but her big friends at UNIT basically get her sent free. And I don't know much about this, but surely someone that's just kidnapped a child should not be let go no matter what. I don't know what this show's obsession with letting child abductors go free, but you had Sarah Jane, you had the Sladen working in a school, you had Grantham. Luke's new parents bring him home and it's revealed they are Chelsea fans.
We've got Spurs on Wednesday, Ashley. Pizza and cokes, watching the match. Come on, Lampard, eh?
I'm just gonna... yeah. Feel better. Yeah, you can... Luke doesn't seem comfortable, so takes himself to bed. This is where we get the first sense that something isn't right. Uh-oh.
Psylocke, are you there? We've got the boy.
Yep, something's wrong. I think it's now established something is definitely wrong. Sarah is grieving and tells Maria to fuck off.
You and Clyde should forget all about me and everything you've seen. Sometimes it's the only way to survive.
I think there's a hidden message in this, as it's basically just saying motherhood always has stuff being thrown at you, but it's a shame because Sarah just got used to being a mum.
Why did you lock my door? Well, you ran away once, remember?
This is so unsettling. I still can't get over that this is a kid show. If Sarah's taught Clyde and Maria anything, it's that Clyde now knows that something isn't right. Clyde decides he wants to go and pay the parents a visit. There is a new research facility exploring telekinetic energy.
Developed it.
Our child genius.
Well, who's the child genius?
You told her about Mitre? How stupid can you get?
I used to know someone your age who could wipe the floor with your intelligence, Nathan, and wipe the floor with you too.
Is Sarah saying that Luke would have a scrap? Because I can just imagine their scrap being like, I know 1 + 1. I know 100 times 100. I know 100 squared.
From a skateboard. Good, was he, on a skateboard? Stunning.
Just this alone convinced Clyde that this was a load of shit.
Clyde! Clyde, up here! Clyde!
Luke finds a way to escape the bedroom.
What was that?
This scene is haunting. And then, oh my god, this little rat knows them. Now we're coming up to the cliffhanger. Holy shit, the Sladen are back. And it turns out that the child is the Move Kid. This child Sladen from the first episode.
No! How you killed my family and left me locked in a sealed room to die.
To be fair, it was Sarah, not Luke. Clyde needs Mr. Smith to analyse a photo.
Cool. You have something for me?
Only I think it's a fake.
You're right, Clyde. It is fake. I faked it.
Sorry, what? Just when you think it couldn't get any worse. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse. Mr. Smith has turned evil. Luke has been kidnapped. Damn! What an episode. This episode was very, very good. I think the storyline's a 9 out of 10, the humour's a 6 out of 10, the character arc's an 8 out of 10, the enjoyment's an 8 out of 10, the villain is an 8 out of 10. I'd have liked slightly better child acting, but other than that, an almost perfect episode. And for me, it does just about miss on the best. Last episode of the series, The Lost Boy Part 2. Straight away we get a shot from like a horror scene. Evil Mr. Smith has convinced Sarah Jane to steal one of the telekinetic headsets, and just as she thinks she's escaped, she triggers one of the alarms. Right, who is that? Why is he on a motorbike? Why the fuck is this a thing?
Hope that didn't sting too much.
No. Clyde's in Mr. Smith. Whoa, no. You don't think like that, you dirty-minded people. Maria does not trust Luke's new parents, so her and Alan go to investigate.
They're skinning someone. They're cannibals.
Oh, Alan. He's so cute. Well, now our characters know that it's the Sladens.
It will pass the last few hours before you all die.
I don't want you here.
They're not Luke's parents, they're Sladen.
That's whipped Sarah back into reality. And then we have the meanest part of the whole series.
What are you doing here on a Saturday afternoon?
What prick, did he really have to do that?
Go? He'll be out cold for hours.
Clyde has somehow managed to start messaging Alan's laptop. Bit convenient, but... Who knew Mr. Smith had a built-in cannon? We then got some backstory on him, and he came from a crystal that was gifted to Sarah, that he was super smart, and the crystals taught her how to design him, which then led to the Mr. Smith that we have now. Sarah realises Sladen want to make profit from Luke. They can make money from his big brain. Luke is getting sucked. Hard.
Look out! He's overloading the system!
That is some outrageous CGI. Luke's escaped and being chased by that little tiny kid Sladen.
Acetic acid don't mix, trust me.
Sure, why not?
Alright, Alan, chill. Don't have an orgasm.
I'm armed.
I fucking love Alan. Who is sitting there having a power wank in the corner? But the plot thickens as Mr. Smith has actually double-crossed the Sladen and wants the money himself, and he knows Luke would head home when he escapes.
Put it on, or I will kill him.
But you're...
Running out of time and patience.
It gets even more techie when we find out Mr. Smith wants, like, the moon to explode or something so he can free his, like, weird little sisters. But, like, in all seriousness, the moon is actually getting seriously close. I mean, look at the size of it. Despite it not being mentioned all series, we find out that Alan works in IT and can kill a virus. Mr. Smith frees Clyde, and oh my god!
Well, meet my dog. Can I protect me? Maximum defense mode.
Woo! K9's back! The virus is put on Mr. Smith and given the new purpose to protect the Earth.
Your purpose is to save the Earth, Mr. Smith.
I have a purpose. Thank you, Sarah Jane.
And they've done it again. And the moon is just shrunk back into place. Okay. And the episode ends with a nice little shot of everyone back together, including Chrissy. Okay, so my thoughts on the finale was, is it a little rushed? I'm going to give the storyline a 7 out of 10, the humour an 8 out of 10, the character arcs an 8 out of 10, the enjoyment a 6 out of 10, and the villain I'm going to do 2 separate rankings. I've got a 2 out of 5 for the Sladen and a 5 out of 5 for Mr. Smith as the villain. I think that was genius, just to add something a bit different. The final episode is going to go in good. So that is the end of ranking Series 1 of the Sarah Jane Adventures. I will do ranking of Series 2, potentially quite soon, who knows. If you want me to rank anything else, leave it in the comments. I'll have a new ranking video out next week. Thank you all very much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. Thank you very much.
Genetically engineered boy genius, a schoolgirl investigator across the road, and a whole universe of adventure right here on the doorstep. Ready? Always.